Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. 7 o'clock has arrived. I believe everyone has been sworn in. Am I correct? Dale?
Yes.
Okay, if you've all been sworn in, then we'll get underway with 2026 pre-town meeting. Good evening. My name is Jim Kane. I'm moderator for the town of Shrewsbury. One item about the pre-town meeting is it's not intended to be a pre-debate of town meeting, which will occur Monday evening, but rather an opportunity to walk through any particular questions, procedural questions, etc. We will go through the packet as we do every year, but I think, and I have a feeling from talking to many of you, that you're here because of the electronic voting. This year we will try electronic voting for all motions with the exception of an amendment from the floor and the motion to adjourn. We have basic forms on others. If something unique comes up, we'll probably do that one by a voice vote. The new procedures for town meeting was placed in all of your packets. I hope you all got them. If you, for some reason, did not receive a packet, please see the clerk, and we'll make sure you get one before the weekend. It's pretty simple, straightforward. In a couple of seconds, I'll ask the clerk to come forward and walk through the steps for you, and we have 5 sample questions. Town meeting members were provided with the opportunity to have a clicker for the test this evening. What will happen is we will initiate the motion and get a second, as we have in prior town meetings. We will then have the debate. I will then, at the close of any debate, move to a vote. I will say to all of you and to the clerk, time for voting has started. Open the machine. You'll see it in a couple seconds. I think 10 seconds is going to give people more than enough time to pick yes or no. If for some reason it isn't appropriate, we can adjust in either direction. And then at the end of the 10, according to Mr. Verizon, I will then ask that the time for voting has expired, the button will be hit, and that will be the vote. You will notice on the board, in a few moments, you will notice that as you vote, the tally begins, and the total number is at the bottom right, and then the vote is taken. Where is our town clerk? There you are. Sharon, why don't you come forward to walk through town meeting members with the specifics of how you will open the town meeting starting out front.
So that's going to be the biggest change is going to be our check-in process. It's now going to be a 2-step process. So you'll check in as you normally do, get any supplemental materials, you'll get your town meeting sticker, and then you're going to proceed to an additional table where you'll check in to receive your clicker. So during the meeting, if you do have to use the restroom or you are taking a call, you're going to head out of the auditorium, and there'll be 2 tellers in the auditorium. You're going to turn in your clicker to those tellers, and then when you come back into the meeting, you can check in with them. They'll re-give you the clicker back, and then you can re-enter the auditorium. And then at the end of town meeting, you'll be responsible for turning in your clicker to tellers. So this year we'll have 8 people like Monday night to collect them. So you just want to make sure that you do turn in the clicker, so we don't want to have to chase people for taking them home. And just allow for some additional, time for the check-in process. So that we can start the meeting, on time at 7, because, it's going to be our first run through, doing the 2 tables for check-in. As far as on how to vote, it's a wireless remote clicker. Each clicker is assigned. It's specific to a town meeting member. As Jim said, he'll declare the open and the close of the vote. To respond, you're simply going to click the yes or the no buttons on the clicker. Just keep in mind that you can change, while the vote's open, you can change your vote. When you do vote, you'll notice on the keypad, it'll come up and say okay. That's how you'll know that your vote did get transmitted. And you're only to vote with your assigned clicker, so you should not be passing your clickers off to somebody else. Like I said, if you leave the auditorium, if you could, give your clicker to the tellers out there. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for the town clerk? Yes, sir. Franny, hold on 1 second, and you're going to have every answer that you ever wanted, buddy. We got 5 sample questions for people to vote on, and we'll get underway. So the key thing is to asking those who can get here a little earlier for Monday night, because going from one easy process of getting a sticker, we'll now have one, and then you will be assigned your clicker. Right now, the software company who got the contract for this is going through 1 through 10 precincts and the town meeting members and assigning a clicker to that town meeting member. So there will be a Fran Manella clicker within your precinct that you will be assigned, and that will be yours for the town meeting until such time as you leave town meeting. If you get reelected and don't move, then you'll stay right with your clicker, and that will create that record. Having said that, why don't are we ready? We ready? Okay, so, we'll go with Article 1. The motion will be made and seconded by the board, and then Finance Committee will recommend. We'll open for debate, and we'll go back and forth, and then we'll have the question on Article 1. I don't see or hear any other debate. Therefore, I'll ask that we open for the vote. So there it is, and please cast your vote. Franny, there's your running. I understand. It has to move along. Time for voting has expired. She'll hit the button. 51 is then displayed. And apparently we have a group of veterans here this evening. Mr. Manella.
So the total's not presented until it's over.
Well, yeah, you see a running number of those who voted. 51 was in the bottom.
But you don't see a running number of yes, no.
No. It captures in the bottom, and then it populates once we say close the vote. Let's move to Article 2. Motion's been made and seconded, Finance Committee. And then we have debate, seeing no one. Let's move to the vote. Time for voting has expired. Close the voting. Okay, so 38 of you voted this time. And let's see how we made out. There we go. Let's move to Article 3. You'll see how difficult this is, I'm sure. Most of you are offended that you left your house this evening for this, I realize. Article 3, motions made, seconded, Finance Committee, debate, seeing no one else. Let's open the vote machine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Time for voting has expired. The clerk will display the roll. Boom. There we go. It is the corn muffin, by the way, just to play. Yes, sir, on the aisle. How are you? Good. You just don't vote. You can go back and forth throughout and then finally pick, or just don't vote. Okay, Article 4. We're back and forth. Time for voting machine to open. Go ahead and vote. Time for voting has expired. 53 divided by. There we go. There we go. And Article 5. Back and forth. Hearing and seeing no one. All those. I'm sorry. Just a little slip there. Open the machine for voting, please. Okay, time for voting has expired, and the clerk displays the tally, 33-21. There we go. Are there any questions, Mr. Shotsky?
So there's a window. You can't vote before they open.
No. I'll say open. The clerk will hit the button. I'll say close. Close the button. Bang. Are there any other questions on this? Yes, Mr. Holland. A public record is created when you hit your button, and a public records request at this point is the simplest, straightforward way to request the information. That's a policy for somebody other than the moderator. But certainly a public record is created. Any other comments, questions? Yes? I tried 10. Did that work for people? Okay. Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you. Anybody, any further comments or questions on this part of the pre-town meeting? Yes. What's that? How do you know this works all the time? Because technology never fails, sir.
So when you do your vote, it'll come up and it'll say okay, that means it's transmitted.
But if you don't get an okay, then do a point of order and we'll try to get you a new battery or something. And no doubt there'll be some replacements in the event one does not work or what have you.
Is there an on-off switch?
Dale, you're above me. Is there an on-off switch? No. Yes. Of course. Oh, yeah. By the way, we can still do voice votes. I'm just choosing because people voted to do the electronic. Let's go electronic. If some people somehow question that, they can still request a standing vote under the same rules. So that hasn't changed at all. I'm hoping, given the newness of the system, we don't get into one of those debacles. If so, then we'll just put them down and go to the voice vote system. Any other comments or questions for this part of the pre-town meeting? Okay, looks like part one is done. If you could please hand back your clickers, we'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll take a couple minutes. Good evening, everyone. We'll get back underway with the part two of tonight's pre-town meeting. This year we have 37 articles comprising the town meeting warrant. For new town meeting members, the evening is not intended to serve as a pre-debate session for the annual town meeting, but rather an opportunity for town meeting members, particularly those who are new, to understand some of the ground rules and to understand the full packet that has been provided to you. As I said earlier, if you have not received a packet, please grab the clerk this evening and tell her so we can get you one before the weekend. My name is Jim Kane. I'm moderator in the town of Shrewsbury. With me this evening is our town manager, Kevin Mizikar. Members of the Board of Select Board are with us this evening as well as the chair of the Finance Committee. So the way this works is we operate under the statutes of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, town meeting time, and the bylaws of the town of Shrewsbury. The Select Board creates the warrant and moves the printed motion as part of the Monday night town meeting event. The Finance Committee actually produces the report that you will be deliberating, that you all should have received this year. It's actually their report. Under our statute, the manager prepares a budget, walks it down the hallway, hands it over to the Finance Committee, and then it becomes their report to town meeting. And you are the legislative branch, authorize and approve or disapprove. In terms of the meeting, please refrain from referring to people in their names or any of the booing that sometimes happens at other town meetings. Our town meeting has a long tradition of treating opposing thoughts with great respect. When you have a question, simply raise your hand, or if I somehow don't see you, say moderator, and I will look to get you to the microphone. We will have two mics, basically about where they are this evening, and then a roaming mic or two in the event moving to the mic is not easy for you to accomplish. We will not be bundling this year, where we're doing the electronic voting. We will take every vote as we go. I think you saw from those votes that it went relatively quickly. In terms of the articles, we only have 5 2/3, requiring 2/3 of a vote. The rest are all simple majority. So I'll have a longer talk on Monday evening, but basically, if you're new to this, go through everything. Did you do your TV shows on the articles as you have? I would recommend to new members, if you haven't, tune into Shrewsbury Media Cable for the various briefings done by the manager and his staff on the articles. Also, town meetings open, town hall is open tomorrow, as well as Monday before the meeting in the event you have a particular question that you'd rather address to members of the professional staff. So, having said that, you all got a memo from the clerk indicating when we're meeting and where. You also, I believe, all saw this, which is your new procedures on how to vote. Keep it with you for Monday night, even though it's not, I think, the most difficult decision you'll ever make. You have your memorandum from the manager explaining the various issues before us, Community Preservation Act memos, etc. You then have the full warrant. Within that warrant, we then develop motions, and it is the motion that that actually carries out that language within the particular warrant. Please scour this. Start right here at the beginning with the procedures. It's an easy read, but it helps give you the background. Of particular importance, in my opinion, is the report of the Finance Committee. It is what they're bringing forth to you as the legislative body in order for you to make your decisions. We will go through it article by article, and when we get to the article on the budget, we will literally go down each page. I'll call the page and the particular department. If you have a question, feel free. Just raise your hand in some way, be noticed. I can't see everyone at all times for a variety of reasons. So feel free to yell out, Mr. Moderator, in the event I somehow don't see you. I remember when I was on the board and I sat at that end, Chris Mena simply couldn't see me. So I had to bellow out one evening just to get his attention. And feel free, if I somehow don't see you, to do the same thing. So we'll walk through each of the articles during the meeting. I'll quickly scan through them now with you out of respect for your evening. If anyone has a particular question on a particular article as we're strolling through, feel free to raise your hand and or just call it out this evening as we walk through. Article 1 is a Steady Eddie article. That's always part of this, part of our town meeting. Are we hearing any reports, Mr. Manager? There will be two verbal? Two? Okay. And what? Who's giving the reports?
High School Building Committee and the Facilities Optimization.
Okay. So high school and facilities optimization. And then we'll walk through, we appoint a few trustees, and then we'll just march through Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, Article 4, go through the budget. School department will present its budget. Superintendent Sawyer will still be with us through this. Very good. Then we'll move through any questions to date on this. I mean, for some of you, it's old hat. For the new ones, don't be bashful. And then we'll just go through the articles, 7, 8, 9, 10, working through them. It's a lot of, no idea what that is. It's a lot of moving money about, back and forth, so I don't see many in the way of grand policy issues. We'll get to 23, 24. They do involve easements or the possibility of easements, which involves a taking or some right in real property. So we'll go with the 2/3 vote. And then we'll move through 27, 28, Community Preservation Act. Who will be presenting for them, Kevin? Mr. McGoldrick will be doing that? Okay, great. And we'll go through. They have their balance reports and other such items within it. 33 is a 2/3. We're establishing, should you choose to, a special purpose stabilization fund under state law that requires 2/3 to establish, then a simple majority to withdraw. And Article 34 is straightforward. Article 35, again, it will be conveying land, and one of the original parcels involved was acquired through an order of taking. So once you do an order of taking, you forever there forward with that parcel have to treat it like an order of taking. So that will be a 2/3. Then we go 36 and 37. And before you know it, we're done. Any questions? Well, okay then. Other than saying, have a great evening, I don't know that there's much more to do. So have a great evening.